You know that feeling when it seems like you're constantly pushing a boulder uphill, like everything is just a struggle? Well, today we're going to talk about a totally different way of looking at things, a way to make life feel less like a fight and more like just floating downstream. Let's get into what it really means to find the path of least resistance. I think we all know this feeling, right? It's this deep down belief that to get anywhere, to achieve anything meaningful, you have to work really, really hard for it. You have to paddle with everything you've got against the current.
And this analogy from the Abraham Hicks teachings just nails it. We're sort of taught that struggle is a good thing, that it's necessary for success. So what do? We get in our little canoe, point it upstream, and just start paddling like crazy, convinced that's the only way to move forward.
But what if that's not the only path? The teachings we're looking at today suggest there's another way, a path where well-being is actually your natural default setting. A path where instead of all that forcing and struggling, you get to experience ease and allowing. It's the path of least resistance.
Okay, so if we want to get on that path and go with the flow, where in the world do we start? Well, it actually begins by totally reframing those moments of struggle. What if they aren't failures? What if they're actually incredibly useful?
Now, this is a really big shift in how we usually think. I mean, think about the last time something didn't go your way. Your first thought was probably, ugh, what am I doing wrong? But what if that's just not the right question to ask at all?
And that brings us to this key idea of contrast. See, whenever you experience something you don't like, a frustrating day, a money problem, a tough conversation, it's not a punishment. It's not a sign you failed. It's just data. Life is basically just helping you get super clear on what it is you do want.
And here's the really cool part. This asking happens all by itself. You don't need to say any special words or do some kind of ritual. Just by living your life and running into that contrast, you are constantly launching what the teachings call rockets of desire for what you'd prefer instead. It's automatic. So if we're all constantly launching these desires, how do they actually show up in our lives? Well, the source material breaks it down into a really simple but incredibly powerful 5-step process. Let's look at this. Step 1, you ask, we just covered. It happens automatically through contrast. And guess what? Step 2, source answers, also happens automatically. The universe literally creates what you want on an energetic level instantly. So our work, and this is where most of us get tripped up, is all in step 3, allowing. It's all about getting ourselves into vibrational alignment with what we've already asked for. And this right here, this simplifies everything. Your job isn't to make it happen. It's not to paddle harder. Your only job is to stop resisting what's already on its way to you. It's really just about getting out of your own way. All right, so how do we do that? How do we stop resisting and start allowing? Well, let's look at 2 really simple tools to help us: our destination and the GPS that tells us if we're heading in the right direction. So first, let's talk about the destination. It's called the vortex. Now, it's not some physical place. It's more like an energetic state of being where everything you've ever wanted has already been collected for you. The most important thing to know is how it feels to be in the vortex. It feels joyful and appreciative and totally at ease. It's the feeling of your dreams already being real. Okay, so if the vortex is our destination, how do we know if we're on the right road? That's where your emotions come in. They are your personal GPS. Every single feeling you have, all day long, is just giving you feedback. It's telling you, hey, you're getting closer to your vortex, or, whoops, you're heading in the opposite direction.
This gives you a great idea of how that emotional GPS works. The full teachings actually describe a 22-step scale, but the concept is super simple. High vibration emotions like joy and love, that means you're in alignment. You're right there in your vortex. Lower vibration emotions like fear and powerlessness, that's just your GPS saying, recalculating, your thoughts are taking you a little off course.
So how do we use this GPS to get back on track? The key is to be so gentle with yourself. You don't try to jump from feeling totally powerless all the way up to joy. That's just too big of a leap. The real goal is just relief. Can you find one thought that feels just a tiny bit better? If you're worried, can you find a thought that feels just a little bit hopeful? You're just climbing the ladder one rung at a time, softening that resistance with every small step. In this gentle process, this climbing up the emotional scale little by little, is what the teachings call the art of allowing. It's really where everything we've been talking about comes together. Ultimately, it all comes down to how these 2 states feel. You know the feeling of resistance, right? It's that tension, that doubt, that why isn't it here yet energy. Allowing, on the other hand, it feels like softening. It's a feeling of ease and trust.
and just this gentle knowing that things are working out for you.
Here's a fantastic way to think about it. Imagine that well-being is like water flowing through a garden hose. It's always on, always flowing to you. Resistance is just a kink in that hose. See, you don't have to create the water or force it to come out faster. Your only job is to find the kink, that resistant thought, and just gently straighten it out.
And this right here is probably the most empowering idea in all of this. Nothing outside of you, no person, no circumstance, is holding you back from what you want. You're the one in control, because you're the only one who can choose your thoughts and gently soften your own resistance.
So to bring this all home, let's make it super practical. You don't need some huge, grand plan to change your entire life overnight. All you need is this one simple, powerful question. Right now, today, what's just one thought you can choose that feels even a little bit better? That small step, that's how you get on the path of least resistance.